All right, welcome to Cloud Asta's training series for Google Workspace. Today we will be highlighting the best new Google Workspace features released in September and October. We have about 10 or so new features we're just going to go through really quickly and talk about how it may or may not impact your organization. And we think that they are the best 10 that have been released in the last 2 months. There are many more, but these are the best ones that we think are worth noting. If there are questions or comments as we are going, please ask them in the chat and we will circle back either probably toward the end, and we will be able to address those. In the meantime, please keep your microphone and camera muted. And if you have any questions, let me know. Away we go. All right, so we're going to start more with some admin specific topics, and then we will move more into our all users or end users topics that are impacting everybody for the users who are there every day and admins included. So we're going to start with one for Meet, Google Meet and the admin console. So now admins have the ability to remove all users and end a meeting for all using the security investigation tool in the admin console. So previously, anybody who is running a Google Meet could go in and end the meeting for all, but maybe you need to end multiple meetings for your organization from the admin console, or searching for old meetings that maybe weren't finished or closed out properly. You can go ahead and do that here, which is really, really great. So in the security investigation tool, the admin console, you would search for Google Meet logs, and you can go ahead and just find that specific Google Meet session and select it. And then you can see in the screenshot here, you can click on the conference ID and end the meeting for all. This is only available for select SKUs, Google Workspace Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, and Education Plus customers. There's many SKUs that is not applicable for, but this is a really, really helpful tool for those of us who are highly utilizing Meet. Another Meet specific one that we'll talk about is admin related, that you can now set the default state for quick access and host management in the admin console. So in the same place where if you've ever gone into your apps for Google Meet settings from the admin console, you can here now there's a host management default option and a quick access default option. Host management giving hosts the ability to change how much people have access to sharing the screen, being able to use the chat and things like that, and quick access with whether or not people are allowed to join the meeting or if the host has to limit them. So now you can set these as default on or off from the admin console. So that's going to be under admin, apps, and Google Meet. Some other ones that we just wanted to kind of note, previously there was the ability rolled out for a user to block another user in Google Drive. If there was abuse or anything that was coming from outside of the domain, there was some feedback given, and we wanted to Google, and they've now rolled out an update to that feature where they are now preventing users from blocking other users in trusted domains. So you can now make sure that you have, let's say you have other domains or other organizations that you're working with, and you want to make sure that your users are not blocking users from those organizations. You can add them to a trusted domain list within your admin console, and then there will be no accidental blocking of those users and hindering your work. And kind of along the same lines of those domains, there is an update in the console where they are renaming whitelisted domains to allow listed domains to build more inclusive language throughout the Google Workspace products. Really, really amazing. So glad that this is happening one step at a time with these updates. Another thing that is very admin specific and related is if you have newer devices in your fleet, you have newer Apple laptops in your fleet that have the M1 silicon chip. The Google Drive for desktop application now has full support as of a couple of weeks ago for those machines. Previously, they had to either be running an older version that probably wasn't working as well, but now you have full support for that. So you have Apple products, Apple laptops, Apple computers within your organization that are the newer ones with the M1 chip. Be sure to have your users download and install the newest version of the Drive for Desktop app. And the last big one for our admin specific topics is going to be another security investigation tool feature that's been included. One-click recommended actions in the Alert Center. So you may have alerts that if you are an admin that gets emailed to you, user reported phishing, user reported spam, suspicious login, things like that. And now when you click on that, you can investigate those reports. Now you'll see that there are some recommended actions for those alerts. So, which is really nice. That this screen has always left a lot lacking, where you're just like, okay, great, I can see all this stuff, but like now what do I do with it? So having these recommended actions are really, really helpful. So you can delete a message, suspend a user, mark it as phishing, block the device, whatever it is, without leaving this alert center and having to dive then deeper into the investigation tool. It's all kind of being put into one place, making it easier to actually act in a timely manner with these issues that may be really, really serious. All right, we're getting to more of our all user end user type things. So this is something that came out pretty early on in September, but was rolling out a little slowly. Um, when filling out forms, uh, whether it's a form, a quiz, your progress is now automatically saved as a draft for 30 days from your last edit in Google Forms. So you can see in this little screen cap we have here, as you start filling out the form, you get a little save icon rolling in there. And the one thing that's come up for some folks is they say, okay, I see my email address is there. Does that mean my email address is being stored with my response? So great, because maybe it's an anonymous form or anything like that. And that is not the case. So you'll see a couple of different ways that it shows that like this is not shared, your email address is not shared if it is indeed an anonymous form. They're showing you the email address there to show you which account that the form progress is automatically being saved for. So just to be a little bit clear about why do you now see your email address on every form all the time, even if it's anonymous. So just wanted to share that. All right. Easily chat with Google with meeting participants from a Google Calendar event. So we're adding this option here that now makes it a little bit easier to integrate Google Chat into our Google Calendar and to be able to chat with folks a little bit quicker rather than going into chat, searching for people, so on and so forth. There have been a couple of things in the past where Google Calendar and Google Chat would automatically suggest groups that you might be able to want to talk to based on your calendar. But now you've got this nice little button right in the calendar event that looks like the little chat icon. And you could just click that and it will automatically create a chat or a group chat with the people on that meeting. Very similar to emailing somebody, hitting that emailing button from calendar. But this way, maybe you just need to send a quick note, I'm running late, anything like that. You could just use this chat button. All right. Another really awesome, exciting one that I'm glad to see is coming is live translated captions in Meet. So these captions help participants communicate better by translating a spoken language to captions in another language. The translated captions will initially be available in beta. Will support English meetings translated to Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German. It's available for Google Workspace Business Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Plus, and Teaching and Learning Upgrade users. So if you are one of these SKUs, you can go to Google's website, search for live translated captions, and you get sign up for the beta. And once that is available, they will roll it out to your domain, and you can start testing it out. It's good. I imagine this to be extremely helpful for teams that are working in many different places and have many different backgrounds. I highly recommend checking it out. A really great one to help make your team utilize Docs and Drive a little bit more than they maybe already are is this ability to add image watermarks in Docs. So maybe you want to add branding, logos, custom designs, whatever it is, you can now add them into Docs. So maybe you want to add this background here. This is our background. I can go ahead and make it faded. I can change the size. I don't like it. I can remove it, so on and so forth. You can go ahead and really make sure that your brand and your logo is known, even if you don't have a paper that's already set up for it. You could just add the photo in there and it's done. All right, we got just a few more here. So meeting hosts now have more control of participants' audio and video feeds. So we talked a little bit about this when we talked a few minutes ago about the default access settings for hosts, for host management and quick access in the admin console. So now, when we're talking about host management, this is what we're talking about. Google Meet has had the ability to say, okay, as I have the host, I want to allow my users to use the chat and share their screen. Now I'm giving my users the ability to do even more than that. Now they can mute everybody all at once. They can allow folks to turn on or turn off their microphone or turn on or turn off their video. So if you don't want the participants to ever turn their videos on, as the host, you can toggle that off so they won't even have the option. Same with their microphone, which is very cool. Gives you as the host a lot of control over the meeting. And you could toggle these as the meeting's going. It doesn't need to be just one and done. Now, thinking back to our earlier slide about the admin, when we talked about the default host management options, this is what we're talking about. So we're going to toggle those on or off. That you're giving your users or restricting your users access to this new setting or this now enhanced or beefed up setting. The audio and video lock features I think are extremely cool and extremely helpful for helping just run and facilitate meetings in a more organized way. And last but not least, and I know I moved quickly today, but this is probably one of my absolute favorite ones that it's rolled out in the last month or two, and that's creating meeting notes in Google Calendar. And these screenshots just like don't do it justice. It's just so incredible that now when you have a meeting, a calendar meeting, you could see there's a new button above the guest that says take meeting notes. And when you click that button, it makes a new document that is automatically titled, put the date on there, all the participants that were on the calendar event are shared on the document. It's shared with everybody, and then you have access to take meeting notes right away, and everybody can jump in. So instead of, where in the past you would maybe create a doc, share it with everybody, or share it with everybody after the fact because you don't want to waste meeting time sharing it with everybody. This is doing all that stuff in one click, and it's just done for you right away. The other really awesome thing that I'm not talking about is when you click this button, it also adds that meeting notes doc, and immediately it attaches it to that calendar event. So if you go ahead and you lose it, you forget what was the name of that meeting, but you know when it was, go back to the calendar event and it's linked right there for you on the calendar event. Really, really amazing stuff. I feel like this has been a very thoughtfully rolled out feature, and they're really making it very robust. And one other thing that I wanted to note on the right side there is you can also add more more documents into that just by putting the little at symbol in the doc using a drop down, which is really great. So if you do end up making a brand new doc, and you want to still just use the template because maybe you have a meeting, but you didn't have a calendar event, create a new doc, um, uh, hit the little at symbol, and then grab that meeting notes template. It'll automatically populate stuff, and you can go ahead and just get started right away. So even if you don't have a calendar event, just get a new doc started, put at, and then select meeting notes, and then you'll be good to go. So even if you don't have that calendar, your event, you are good to go. If you were to take away anything from, I'm going to go back to my top here. If you were to take anything away from our highlights from the last 2 months, that very last one, I think is my absolute favorite. And I think it's something that everybody can take advantage of today and make everybody's lives a whole lot easier. So don't forget to check that out. I want to talk a little bit about our next webinar. Usually we would do it every 2 weeks, but with the Thanksgiving holiday, we will be skipping a week and moving it to 3 weeks. So on December 2nd, we will be talking about managing Google Meet for your organization. So this is going to be more geared towards admins and diving into the admin console. So we'll be talking about all those new host management and quick access features that we talked about, how to dive into the investigation tool, how to use quality, the quality tool, and some of the other settings like allow list of domains and so on and so forth. So mark that on your calendar. It's on our website now. You can go ahead and check it out, and we will be able to talk more through Meet. Thank you so much.